In this video, we'll try to understand what is compilation. So far what we have done, we created a simple Java project in IntelliJ and we try to run that particular code. But what actually happens internally? So that is what we need to understand as a programmer.
Hey, thanks for watching our content so far. If you're new to Training Mark, we're the fastest growing technology training company and create content to help freshers like you to master the disruptive technologies like full stack development, AML, cloud, DevOps, etc. If you like the content so far, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon not to miss any new content from us. Like and share this video with all your friends. Let's build your career and the community together.
So what basically is a compilation? In our previous videos we have seen we generally write the code in human understandable language, but computer do not understand that language. So we need to convert the source code into computer understandable language. That is basically called as a compilation. So every programming language will have its own compiler. Java is also having its own compiler. What you call it as a Java C, which is a part of your JDK. So the moment you install JDK, Java compiler is also a part of that particular software. So now we did not do anything in our previous thing. So IntelliJ, we just created our code, we just run it. But the entire compilation, interpretation happened internally. So we did not do it. So that is what is the magic of IDE. But as a programmer, you need to understand how do we manually do that without the help of IDE. So even though we don't use that in our application development in real time, because we mostly use IDEs, but as a beginner, you need to understand how do we manually do the compilation, how do we manually run our Java code. So in this video, we'll see how do we compile using the compiler explicitly. So here we cannot write our code inside IDE because IDE will do that for you. So instead of writing your code in IDE, we use some editors. So the editors, I think we have also seen what is the difference between writing code in editor and writing code in IDE, right? So we're going to see that in live action, the differences of writing code in IDE and as well as in editor. You can use any editor for writing your Java code like Notepad, Notepad++, or any other popular IDEs for Java development. So in this one, I'm going to use Notepad++. You can also use Notepad. Now let us start writing a simple Java code and then try to compile it and then interpret to see what magic will happen using the compiler and as well as interpreter. Let us start writing the code in Notepad++. I have already installed Notepad++, and if you open Notepad++, it looks something like this, with just a normal code editor or like just a text editor where you can write certain text document. But instead of using Notepad, I prefer using Notepad++ because it also understands the syntax of your coding language. So if it is Java, it will give you some syntax highlighting, and then if it is HTML, it will highlight you with some syntax highlighting. But in plain Notepad, you will see the entire text in black, which I don't recommend. So Notepad++ is easy to download and install. You just Google it, how do you download Notepad++ and then install. The moment you open, the interface looks something like this. So but here you don't get any boilerplate code. So it's not actually a project. So you're writing a simple Java code, a normal simple file. But in IDE, you have to work with only projects. So that is the difference. So here I'm writing my code. Okay. So the same code, public class, hello world. And here I'm just writing public static void main of string args. So now here you don't get any suggestions from this IDE, nor it will give you any suggestions, hints or any compilation errors, nothing. That is where you'll master the syntax initially if you write the code inside editors. So now let me write system.out.println and then here I'll say hello world, welcome to Java programming. So now if you can see, nothing is highlighted at this moment, nothing is formatted, and everything is just like a normal text. But when I save this, now let me save this into my desktop, and then now here we need to give the file name here. So when you're creating any Java class, the recommendation is you have to save the file with the class name. Example, now here I'm saving it with hello world.java. Because it's a Java file, the extension of the file should be .java. Now you see here, hello world is my class. I have given the same name. You can give whatever the name is, but we recommend you to give the same class name as a file name. But there are certain kind of rules for it. We can understand that in our further videos. Just let me save it. So the moment you see that, now you see there is a syntax highlight happened between keywords and the other words. So that is what Notepad++ will do. Now the question is, how do I run this, or how do I get the output of this? You cannot see any tool which can run this now within your editor, because it's just an editor which can allow you to write your code. Now you have to compile your code and you have to run your code explicitly, because it does not use any inbuilt tools, right? So now how do I do that? So for doing it, now if you can go program files, Java, JDK, and inside your bin you have lot of tools, right? If you scroll down, you will see a tool called JavaC. So this JavaC is a tool which is called as Java compiler. So using this tool, we are going to now compile our hello world.java to get the .class files. So that is what is a compilation. So what is a compilation in Java? In Java, the compilation is converting your source code into bytecode. Okay, we'll understand what is this bytecode, how it looks like, and what file it generates in a minute. So, but we are going to use this tool. But how do you use this tool is, first of all, you should go where actually you have saved your file. So I have saved my file in my desktop. So I'll go to the desktop and then use my JavaC command in order to compile my Java file. How do I do that? I'll go to my desktop. Okay. And from here, you can see that I have my hello world.java here. This is a Java source file. Now I'll open my command prompt from here. So in the address bar, simply type cmd, okay, and press enter. This by default opens your command prompt with the desktop, or else you can manually open your command prompt and navigate to the desktop where you save your file, right? Now if you want to compile this, I'm now using JavaC and then hello world.java. So instead of typing the whole file, if you type few letters and do tab, it by default picks up what is a Java file which is available there, and then by default will give you hello world.java. So the moment you see here, what magic happens? Now right now you have only hello world.java, but if I press enter, now you can see that there is a hello world.class file got created. Means this compiled your code. So what is the compilation? Converting your source code into bytecode, not machine coding Java. So but while converting that into bytecode, it generates a .class file. Now you see here, it always generates a .class file based on the class what you have. What is the class name of our code? It is hello world. So now with the same class name, it created the .class file. Now if you can look at this here, the hello world.class file is generated. But I did not get any output here saying that hello world, welcome to Java programming. So that is what you call it as an interpretation. So in this one, we focused on how do you just compile, right? Compilation is nothing but converting your source code into bytecode in Java. But bytecode cannot run the code. So it just compiles your code. Now what happens if I do any changes here? Suppose I delete this n. Okay. Now your ID does not even show whether it is a compilation or not. Now I just save my file. I'll go back to my command prompt and run this command again. Means what? I'm recompiling my source file because I did some changes to the source file. So I have to recompile it. So when I press enter, now you see the compilation happened, and instead of getting the .class file now what we got here, I got it as an error here. It says that, hey, I cannot find symbol because this println n is missing here. It just say that, hey, are you using this method? I don't know what is this method is all about. So this is what is compilation. It goes through your code and checks your syntax. If any problem in the syntax, it will give you compilation errors. If everything is good, then it will convert the source code into bytecode. That is a compilation. So if I fix this here, changing back to println, and every time you change the code, it will turn into red. Means what? It is not yet saved. You have to save the file. So once you save the file, and then you go and recompile the code using the same command. Now again what actually happens? The new Java bytecode gets created, and you can see that the Dart class file gets created. So this is how do you do compilation manually. But in IDE, you can't see all these things because IDE will do it for you. So that is what is the magic of using IDE.